Okay, so another couple just went missing because they were out to see the world and prove to the world that racism and evil doesn't exist. Now, I feel bad for their families. So this couple is missing. They're not, what do you call it, pronounced dead. But it's probably what am I trying to say? It's probably, they're not in a good place right now, whether they're dead or they are being held for ransom or they're just going to be missing and nobody's going to find them. So, I mean, it's like, didn't they hear about the other couple that got killed? If you guys heard about there was another couple that they went to some place in the Middle East and the government was like, don't go there, it's a violent area. And they're like, no, we're going to show the world, we're going to prove to the world that racism doesn't exist. And they went and they were blogging and they were, you know, having a good time. And then, I mean, it was horrific. Like, they ran off the road and stabbed to death. So, forgive me if I seem like I'm mocking them. I'm not mocking them. I'm just really frustrated with this sense of, like, the moral relativism and these they're adults. They're grown people that live in a bubble. Like, I get that you want to show people that, you know, it's cool to travel and embrace people of other cultures. But, like, if it's a violent place, don't go. Like, you can do that in a place that's not violent. I don't, like, Paul Joseph Watson did a really good video on this. I'm going to leave you the link because there were some other cases that he mentioned that I don't know off the top of my head where people had this train of thought where they were just like, what is it? What? I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I'm just dumbfounded because I don't understand how you're an adult. You get to the adult. I can understand when you think like that when you're like 7. But I don't understand how you get to be an adult and then you think like that. You think that, you know, no, there's no such thing as evil. I guess there are people that have not experienced evil. Like, what is that? Have they not experienced evil? Please help me on the comments. Please help me out. If you were somebody that used to be like that and you had a change, you had an experience that changed your mind, that opened you up, and you're, you know, I would like to know. I would like to know because I think it's just so, like, far-fetched to think that people that adult are that naive. I can't wrap my head around it. You know, is this what happens when you do a lot of mushrooms? Like, seriously? You just become so open that you lose, like, you get pushed to that, like, right side of your brain. Is this the right side? I don't know. Your right side so far that you don't have any logic anymore. It's just, I'm mad because I'm not mad at them, but I'm just mad because, you know, the left is like pushing this ideology, and I feel like, you know, I see the whole thing happening with the open borders, how there are a lot of people that are just like, open borders and let them in, let us all love each other. And I'm just like, are you serious? And, you know, me being a Lyft driver, when I did drive for Lyft, I would just get so frustrated because people will, you know, that had this train of thought, they weren't in the areas where they were directly affected by this. So, you know, I'm talking to my friend who's Cuban, by the way, he's Latin, okay, him and his wife were like, had somebody almost break into his house, you know, he had, like, what else happened to him? He's had stuff stolen out of his truck by the illegal immigrants in the complex, okay, that he lives in. And there's another, it was a really good, I'll see if I can find it really fast. If I can't, you guys search this video out. It was a walk away video, and this guy was Mexican, and he was talking about, like, how he kind of he had those ideals too, until, like, you know, a lot of the illegal immigrants start stealing his family's hard-earned tools that he had to have for his job. And he got mad one day. He kept, you know, his dad's truck kept getting broken into, and he kept getting his tools stolen. And then one day he saw the guy doing it, and he chased him down, and the guy shot him. Like, I don't think he got shot, but like shot at him. And he was just like, you know what? Because this is the side that's not being told. Of course, there are people that are coming here for a better life. Of course, duh. But you know who's also coming with him? Criminals, rapists, pedophiles, child molesters, drug smugglers, drug addicts, you know, psychopaths. That's also coming. It's not like, you know, maids just come. Women just, and you, by the way, if you're a woman, you can be just as dangerous. Or if you're a kid, you can be just as dangerous. Depending on, you know, your lifestyle, where you grew up, how hardened you've become, how much anger you have in your heart, you know, how much, you know, I think that, you know, PTSD is rampant across this globe, where, you know, there are a lot of, when you do come from an area where there's a lot of violence and stuff, it makes you harder. You know, and you see a lot of your friends die. You see your family murdered and stuff. Maybe you start to care. Maybe it's like you become possessed with the darkness, and you don't really care about anybody else, you know? So I don't think people that are criminals are innately that way. I think something happened to them. And depending on the type of person you are, how strong you are, I don't know what other factors come into play, but that's going to determine how you handle it. You know, I think about a lot of the people in the Middle East that hate the West. I would too. If I'm getting bombed, if my city's being destroyed, if my friends are being killed, I'm being maimed, I'm being made to reform. If you know, the previous presidencies like started wars and dropped depleted uranium over the place, and you know, they're having babies with 3 heads. I'm not kidding. I know I joke a lot, but I'm not kidding with this. They're having, like, you know, babies where their arm is growing out of their ear, you know, or Agent Orange, when they sprayed all of that and they had all of the deformed babies because of that. How can you not hate the West? How can you not have this anger? I don't think I would even be able to escape that if that was my situation. So why are you going to just let everybody in without vetting them, without knowing why they come here? And then you have the whole thing of the reconquistas, where people think that, you know, Mexico, they're going to get Mexico back, you know, which is funny because I had an argument with a guy the other day, and he was talking about like how English is a white language, and how, you know, we need to learn Spanish. And like, I like languages, okay? I'm not, whatever. But I'm just like, yeah, well, Spanish is a European language too. Like, duh. So you can still argue that all of the Europeans basically conquered like 2 continents of people, are 1.5, I'm looking at the map, 1.5 continents by altering their DNA, because they mixed, you know, a lot of the people in Latin America are white anyway, part white. Either they mix, you know, they've mixed with the indigenous people, or ran them out, or killed them off, you know, because there are not a lot of indigenous people in Central and South America and Mexico. You know, it's run by people that are mixed, or either, you know, a lot of the elites that run these countries in Central and South America, they're white. They're really white. You can be like, oh, I'm from Argentina. No, you're white. Jorge Ramos, you're fucking white, okay? You're white with an accent. Yeah, you grew up in Mexico, but you're white. Vicente Fox, you're white, okay? So I know that hurts, but it's true. So anyway, I just, you know, going back to this whole, like, thing, are they delusional? I don't know. I have tried some drugs. I know that when you do, like, mushrooms and stuff, it gives you like this, it does give you that sense of openness, and you do psilocybin and connectedness to the world. And there have been really great, I'm not dogging mushrooms, okay guys, there have been really great breakthroughs with psilocybin and depression. And I think if used in the right way, we can have real medical breakthroughs, PTSD and all these things. But the thing is, like any drug, whether it's legal or illegal, it needs to be there needs to be a balance, and you need to use them responsibly. And I was looking at the couple, like pictures of them, and the girl had dreads, and they were just like kind of like the stereotypical hippie. And I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know what they're thinking about. I wouldn't be surprised if they engaged in a lot of that stuff. And I kind of think, like, is this what happens when you do it too much? Because I do know people that do it a lot too, and they kind of sometimes they get pushed to that right brain side too much, and they lose all sense of logic. Now, I think that you can be pushed to the logical brain too much too, and that's what happens on the left side, and that's what happens in a lot of the universities too, where you're just taught to regurgitate and memorize information, and you don't have like whole brain thinking. You're just on that left side, and you're just like a robot, you know. So you kind of need a balance of both sides, but being pushed to one side or the other side is very detrimental, right? Because if you're too right brain, then you're too emotional and you lose all logic. And if you're too logical, you become like a robot, and then you have no heart. So you really need a balance. But these people seem really unbalanced in their thinking by being, you know, like not having logic about this situation. And I don't know. I would like I'm just like, didn't they hear about the other couple? You would have think that they would have learned. But I guess there's always people that have that train of thought that that's not gonna happen to me. It's never gonna happen to me. So very, very sad. I'm gonna leave that PJW video in the links for you to watch it. And that's it, you guys. All right, guys. Subscribe to my backup channel, please. I'll put in the links, all the other stuff, and peace, truth, love. All right, bye-bye.